Hi, my name is Alec Gerbec with Umpqua Feather Merchants. I'm a signature tyer for them, and today we'll be tying my Resting Caddis. I designed this fly when I was fishing on the upper Sacramento in Northern California, and there was a huge caddis hatch happening, and the fish just weren't eating your standard adult dry fly imitations. So came up with this pattern. It has some really cool kind of old school looks to it with the wally wing, and I do it in a couple different colors. So today we'll tie the tan, but I also do it at all of them and done. So yeah, let's get started. So the hook I'm going to use is our XC300. A good alternative would be a TM code 2487. I'm going to take out a very long piece of thread. This is going to act as a ribbing for me, so just a long tag thread. I'm going to work my way back to the bend. Okay, that's good there, just a couple extra wraps. And then I'm going to bring in a brown marker. Yeah, I could tie with a brown thread, but I want the head to be nice and tan, so I'm just going to zap this with some brown. Tuck that away for later. I'm going to use some tan Superfine dubbing. Just going to pull it out a sparse amount. A little goes a long way. Then as I tie it in, just as you wrap that noodle, go vertical with the material and it should go a little thinner for you. So I'm going to start my noodle. Might not necessarily finish it really right away. I might stop halfway through and retighten it up. Okay. And I'm just going to start wrapping, coming forward, and this is going to be a slow taper to slightly fatter as I come forward. So my noodles stayed fairly tight. Just a couple of extra wraps there, and I'm going to stop my thread. Since I wrap this way with my dubbing, I'm going to cross wrap with this ribbing just to lock in that dubbing. It's not a huge contrast with that brown thread, but I like to do it anyway. So you could just probably wrap this off with thread. I'm actually just going to come in with my whip finisher. Out of the way. I'm going to finish that off. Okay, next I'm going to take a tan CDC feather. I'm going to tease out the fibers so they're perpendicular to the spine of the feather. I'm going to come in, I'm going to grab one side, pinch it off. Get rid of that bottom little fluff. I'm just going to bring those fibers together in my fingers, like so. Bring it onto the top of my fly, rough length at first, and then I'll show you how I trim it down here in a sec. I'm going to give a couple wraps to lash it in, clean those cut ends off. Okay. So I have quite a long wing right here, or underwing, excuse me, of CDC. If I were to just chop this right now, it'd be very squared off, unnatural. So I'm actually going to just pinch the CDC fibers, come in with my other fingers and rip off. It's going to give you a little natural end to that CDC fiber. So next part of the process is creating a wally wing. And what a wally wing is I'm going to be using a mallard flank feather. And I actually prep it before I start tying with it. So there's kind of all this fluff on the bottom here. I'm first going to tear off the feather like this. Okay, I'm going to clean it up. And now essentially the process is going to be me peeling these fibers off the spine while still trying to maintain this little skin that keeps all the fibers together. So what I've actually done is I've pre-soaked some of these feathers in some warm water, and that just helps that skin separate from the spine. So I'll grab my prepped one here. Okay, and what you'll note, let me grab a bodkin real quick, is I've separated an equal amount of fibers on either side. Okay, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to tease these fibers back, into what's going to look like a wing. So let me just get this ready here and I'll show you. So like that. Okay. Now I'm going to come in over my hook and I'm going to give 3 wraps just to kind of seat it in place. Okay, stop there, take a look. That's roughly long enough. You can maybe slightly tug it out if you need to make it a little bit longer. But now I'm going to start wrapping towards the eye of the hook. I might bring my spine up, if I can get past the fibers. Give a couple wraps underneath, and then fold it back down and come down. Just really latch it in place because I'm going to be yanking on that feather pretty good here in a sec. So I can come in now, trim off the excess, and clean up my head zone here. Okay, so this is kind of the trick, and again, wetting it will improve your odds. Sometimes it doesn't peel as well. So I'm going to come in here and grab some of these fibers, and they're going to be my kind of my handle to get to where I need to with the wing. So I'll try to do this without messing it up now. So I'm just going to kind of pinch those fibers and pull the opposite side of the feather. So you can see now that skin is actually maintaining a nice little wing for me. So I'm just going to keep pulling that. And I don't have to go all the way right away. So I'm going to just stop right there. I'm going to try to get the other side now. Excuse my fingers being in the way. It's kind of finger intensive right now, but I'll show you the finished product here. Stop again just to show you. So yeah, now you can see I have the spine here, and we've now maintained a nice little wing off of either side. So I can come in and just continue separating that spine. And I'm going to stop it. Let me go a little further, sorry. Let's just stop it right there. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to trim off this on both sides. I'm going to bring my spine up, trim that away. So you got that nice profile, kind of that spent wing look or resting look if it was laying nice and low in the water. Come in with a ginger hackle now. Just going to take away some of those bottom fibers so I have a little handle to tie in. And since I'm using a pupa hook or a down-eyed hook, I actually turn my fly to the side. That way my thread doesn't jump off the front as I'm finishing the fly. So now I'm just going to be pretty tight with my turns here, pretty much touching turns, coming forward. Until I get to the head. Okay. I give 3 wraps. And now I'm going to whip finish. Whip finishing in the head's always a trick. I always like to keep the hackle on. So I'm going to kind of brush back those materials, come in. And drop in that whip finish. Okay, trim that away. Trim away my hackle. Then my last step, just so this fly really sits nice and low for me, is I am going to trim away those bottom hackles just so it really sits nice and flat on the water. So there you have it. There's my resting caddis in tan. Pretty cool realistic profile.